Yeah.
Thanks, Carl. Yeah. So as we all know, it's good practice to have some sort of monitoring and reporting in place. It helps build some trust and confidence in the system, helps understand user behaviours, identify trends, areas to focus on improving, and allows for a timely reaction to any concerning activity. Auditors like to look for evidence that systems are monitored for activity that could put the organisation at risk. They want to see change request processes, access to systems and data, monitoring of changes, and governance structures. When it comes to access to systems and data, they're often looking for some sort of access review or user access review around security and permissions. They're looking for evidence of access levels granted by appropriate authorised persons, timely termination of user accounts, and privileged account access monitoring. So one of the solutions to addressing this is to have activity monitoring in place. Looking for unusual activity, looking for unauthorised changes to things like security configuration, the logs, looking for at-risk activities, things like removal of documents, replacement of documents, removal of versions and documents being emailed. You can have specific user monitoring in place, particularly for privileged users, and timely monitoring of specific risks to enable timely and appropriate actions to be taken. Some of the things that you can look for or monitor, I should say, are things like deleted records, documents being removed, a record type being added, modified or deleted, records being redacted, revisions being removed, and documents being replaced. This is a heavily redacted working example from one of our customers that gives them much of what I've just spoken about and a little bit more, and it shows the changes from month to month, which helps them identify everything that I've just spoken about. By doing this, they're able to identify trends, developing issues, any unusual activity, and of course, areas to improve. A further example of that we'll have here, there were 30 records reversed with their final declaration. Is this a concern or is it routine? In this particular instance, it happened to be a breach of process, and they were able to address that and work with the people concerned and improve their process. We have another example here where endorsing good behaviour versus highlighting an area of concern. So this was an opportunity to identify when people are emailing links versus printing documents. And this is an example of some good behaviour. No documents being printed and lots of emails being sent using links. We have some ad hoc reporting to monitor specific users that we would be looking for unusual activity, or this might be a routine onboarding process. It may also be an internal staff transfer to a new role, especially where there needs to be some evidence of role segregation. So in this case, you can see that there is a number of activities being monitored for an offboarding exercise. You can develop security and access review reports. You can report by security group, you can report by directorate structure, and you can report permission levels. I'll show you a bit more of this later on. Here's a different kind of report showing some of those security levels and permissions. So we have something like documents checked in and being replaced. This is a sneaky way of potentially replacing documents. Again, is it routine or is it a concern? Some of what you see on the screen happen to be routine, and some of it happened to be someone working through a loophole in the system, and they worked out how to replace documents. So how do we generate these reports? Well, we generally use logs, and we have of course, another mature product that's been around for a really long time and it's sold in customers across the globe. And this allows you to view and search offline content, the offline content manager logs. It has a powerful search on both the desktop and web client. You can save the searches for later, you can filter the searches, save or export the data as a CSV, text or Excel file. And it also has a number of pre-built graphical reports that we're constantly improving. We have the mobile and tablet viewer as well. So the web browser interface allows you to view, browse and search. I'm just going to take you through some of the higher level functionality because I don't have time to cover it all in detail. The search within both the desktop and the web client gives you the ability to filter via all of the usual things that you would expect, including events, record type, location, free text searching, things like that. And the search results tab contains a listing of entries that match the search. And again, these can be exported if required. The web client looks a little different, but offers all the same functionality. It has the free text search, has the date selection bars, has the event-based search or filtering, I should say. And there's also an advanced form that offers the ability to look at things like the network logins, locations, records and containers, and record type. Just moving through to the reporting side of things, there's a number of inbuilt reports with predefined graphs that draw upon both the logs and the metadata within Content Manager. And here a range of charts can be generated, and there's a generated live. Logs is also available, capable of showing multiple data sets if you're in that position. A couple of example graphs just for information purposes. We have record count by security caveat, record count by security level, things like top 10 record creators, top 10 viewers, the volume of records being created in a month. We have usage reports for things like active and inactive documents, number of boxes, number of missing records, number of unknown locations, for example. We also have lists of active and inactive users.